Hello everybody and welcome to Reacting to Seahawks Hot Takes, Episode 3, the number one rated show in America. I'm your host, Foloki, and today we've got some pretty good takes, two of which coming from Seahawks.home and one of which coming from the comments section. Before this video starts, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for over 1,500 subscribers. We hit that a couple days ago, and I can't thank everyone enough. The support is absolutely amazing, and just once again, thank you. And if you're new, subscribe. It'd be very cool. Also, you see the lighting behind me, blue and green, Seahawks colors, but I think if we're going to be doing some hot takes, we got to get into the mood, and boy, we got a mood now. Now that we've got the correct lighting for the Seahawks hot takes, it's time to get into hot take number 1. Coming from Seahawks.home, we have Will Dissly wins Comeback Player of the Year. Now, this is a hot take, one, because it's saying that Will Dissly won't get injured this year, but honestly, I think that if he doesn't get injured, he definitely wins this award, 100%. Will Dissly, his first 2 years have been pretty bad, but that's only because of injury. He's a great player. He's played very well. Last season, he played very well for the 6 games that he played. He had over 200 yards, he had 4 touchdowns, he had an 85% catch percentage, so he was doing very good, and it just so happened that he tore his Achilles, and that is a horrible injury to come back from. And if he can come back, play all 16 games, if we even have 16 games this year, but if he can come back, play all the games this year, I feel like he's easily going to win Comeback Player of the Year, because I think that maybe this goes to Cam Newton or someone like that, because I don't know if Cam Newton would, meet the requirements for it. It's basically Comeback Player of the Year, for anyone that doesn't know, is basically just having a great season coming back from adversity. So I think Cam Newton could make, the requirements. I think he does, so he could win that. But Will Dissly, I think if he plays all 16 games, he's a very good tight end. He played very well last year, and he's definitely our starting tight end. He's very good. We have 7 or 8 tight ends on roster, depending if you count Stephen Sullivan as a tight end. But Will Dissly, I think he's tight end number 1, even with Greg Olsen. And I think if he plays all 16 games, if he can stay out of injury problems, he's 100% winning this award, unless Cam Newton wins it. And for the second hot take of the day from Seahawks.home on Instagram, we have Chris Carson leads the league in yards. Now, this really depends on if he means all-purpose yards or rushing yards. Now, I mean, if it's all-purpose yards, Christian McCaffrey is 100% getting that one. But if he means rushing yards, I think there's a possibility that he may actually lead the league. Last year, Derrick Henry led the league with a little over 1,500 yards rushing, and I think Chris Carson, since, Carlos Hyde, he's definitely running back number 2. I don't think he's taking that number 1 spot, which was a hot take from, Seahawks.home last video, I believe. But Rashad Penny, everything I've seen has said that he's going to be on the PUP list. He's not coming back till week 8. Chris Carson, great running back. Absolutely love him. Power back with a little bit of elusiveness. He reminds me a little bit of Marshawn Lynch, and I really hope that we do re-sign him at the end of this year. But Chris Carson, I think those first 6 weeks, those are going to be big weeks for him. I think well over 100 yards a game for all those 6 weeks. I think Carlos Hyde will be a running back 2 option, but I think Chris Carson is going to be a workhorse. I think he's going to be getting a ton of carries. He's going to get a ton of opportunities, and I think he'll make the most of it. I believe in Chris Carson. He did have a bit of an injury problem last year with that hip situation, but other than that, he really played most of the season. He just missed the playoffs, and so did Rashad Penny. And I think Chris Carson, great running back, like I said before, reminds me a little bit of Marshawn Lynch. Absolutely love him. I love his play style. I think a lot of Seahawks fans love his play style. I hope he gets re-signed, and I think Derrick Henry probably still going to be, carrying the Titans, so he'll be getting a lot of yards. Ezekiel Elliott, big person to compete with. Saquon Barkley, all those teams that are going to be a very run-heavy team with, superstar running backs. I think Chris Carson could be, he could be in the running for number 1 rushing leader in the league, but honestly, I don't think a lot of people are looking at him for it, and I think he might just come out of the blue and surprise a lot of people with all the opportunities that he's going to get this year, especially early on in the season. And coming in for our third and final hot take of the day, this is actually a hot take from the comments. We're not just stealing from Seahawks.home anymore. We actually have a comment hot take. If you have any hot takes, make sure you leave them in the comments below. This hot take basically says that Antonio Brown will sign to Seattle, and Russell Wilson, being as mentally strong and such a good leader that he is, he will fix the mental issues and keep Antonio Brown on the straight and narrow, and Antonio Brown will find some success in Seattle. Now, this is a very good hot take. I think that it's very interesting to see a hot take in the direction of the actual mental state of Antonio Brown and how Russell Wilson can help him mentally. everyone knows if Antonio Brown signs to the team, if he doesn't have problems, he's a great wide receiver. Russell Wilson's a great quarterback. And, I mean, on the field, it's going to work out very well, most likely, if he does get signed. Then again, we don't know if Antonio Brown will be let into the NFL. I think Josh Gordon's a safer option, but that's just me. I mean, I'm welcome to an Antonio Brown signing, honestly. But when it comes down to it, I think Josh Gordon's a safer option and probably going to be the option. I don't know if Antonio Brown will be let back into the league, but that's neither here nor there. Russell Wilson, on the topic of the hot take, Russell Wilson can definitely help Antonio Brown. If he does get signed, if Antonio Brown is allowed back into the NFL and signed by the Seahawks, I think Russell Wilson can easily, fix the issues that he has, like the locker room issues, all the off-the-field issues. I think, like Tom Brady, Russell Wilson will keep him in check. Obviously, the Patriots, dropped Antonio Brown after one game, but I think Russell Wilson, being such a good leader, such a good teammate, and, the success that the Seahawks will have if they do bring in Antonio Brown, I think that Antonio Brown will probably be kept on the straight and narrow because of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's a great guy, great leader, like I said. He is definitely a very, mentally positive person, so I think that he can definitely help Antonio Brown if Antonio Brown is signed to Seattle. But when it comes down to it, don't think it's going to happen. If it does happen, I will be welcome to it. I think that from this hot take, I think this hot take's right. If he is signed, I think Russell Wilson will definitely keep him in the right state of mind throughout the time in Seattle. And with that, that's going to do it for this video. Some pretty interesting takes in this video. So glad to actually get a hot take from the comments for once. Maybe we won't have to use Seahawks.home anymore because he doesn't actually have any more hot takes unless he posts more, which he hasn't yet. I'm going to need some from the comments, so make sure you leave your hot takes down in the comments below. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Have a great day.